Welcome to True Life Lessons, where we explore the deepest corners of human nature and the resilience of the human spirit. Meet Jacob, a man of simple needs and a heart of gold, living in the ancestral home his parents left behind. He cherished every corner of this house, believing that preserving his heritage was the greatest way to honor his late parents. However, inside the house lived Laura, his wife, and Rohan, her brother, who unfortunately did not share his values or work ethic. Laura viewed Jacob's kindness as a weakness, constantly complaining about their lifestyle while refusing to lift a finger to help him. Rohan was even worse, treating the house like a hotel and Jacob like a servant, contributing absolutely nothing to the household. Despite their cold behavior, Jacob continued to provide for them, hoping that his patience and love would eventually change their hearts. But greed has no bottom, and late one night the siblings hatched a cruel plan to take everything Jacob had built. They believed that without Jacob they could sell the property, take the money, and live a life of luxury and leisure. The next morning, the storm broke. Laura threw Jacob's belongings onto the floor, screaming that she wanted him out immediately. Jacob stood in silence, his heart shattering into pieces as he realized the woman he loved cared only for his assets. Rohan joined in, mocking Jacob's passive nature and claiming the house now belonged to them, demanding he leave their sight forever. Instead of fighting back or causing a scene, Jacob chose dignity. He quietly packed his few belongings, accepting the cruel reality. The heavy wooden door slammed shut behind him, sealing his past life and leaving him alone with the cold morning wind. But Jacob was not as helpless as they thought. He walked to the old well in the backyard, his secret sanctuary. Hidden behind a loose brick was a metal box containing his life savings, money he had quietly put away for emergencies. He had saved every penny from his extra work, preparing for a rainy day that had finally arrived in a storm. With the resources to start over, Jacob turned his back on the betrayal, choosing to walk forward rather than look back. The journey was long and uncertain, but the fresh air of freedom tasted sweeter than the stale atmosphere of that house. He arrived in a neighboring village miles away, inquiring about affordable land where he could plant new roots and rebuild his life. He found a neglected plot of land that no one wanted. Where others saw weeds, Jacob saw a golden opportunity for growth. The deal was made. With the deed in his hand, Jacob felt a surge of energy he had not felt for years. He started by building a modest shelter. It was small and simple, but it was his, built with honest sweat and dignity. His hard work attracted the attention of Vick, a kind neighbor who admired Jacob's resilience and offered him a helping hand. Two pairs of hands worked faster than one. A bond of brotherhood formed as they transformed the wild land into fertile soil. Weeks turned into months, and the barren earth responded to their love. Green shoots emerged, promising a harvest of hope and success. Meanwhile, back at the old house, the reality of laziness set in. The money ran out, and the arguments began to escalate. Rohan refused to work, expecting money to magically appear. The house fell into disrepair, mirroring the rot within their greedy souls. Laura realized too late that Jacob was the engine that kept their lives running. Without him, they were sinking into poverty. In contrast, Jacob's farm was flourishing. The land was generous, rewarding his dedication with a bounty that exceeded all his expectations. Jacob and Vick loaded trucks with fresh produce. Their business was booming, and Jacob was becoming a respected figure in the community. True to his nature, Jacob shared his success. He ensured Vick was well compensated, proving that generosity creates even more abundance. He built a new home, not just of bricks, but of peace. It was a sanctuary where he could finally breathe freely. Desperation finally forced Rohan off the couch. With an empty stomach and no other options, he went out to beg for work. He wandered from village to village, facing rejection everywhere. His arrogance was replaced by the humiliation of needing to ask for help. Fate has a sense of humor. Rohan stumbled upon a prosperous farm hiring workers, completely unaware of who owned this thriving estate. He approached the manager, who happened to be Vick, and begged for any job, willing to do the hardest labor for food. Vick recognized him immediately, but said nothing. He assigned Rohan the dirtiest tasks, testing his resolve and watching karma unfold. For the first time in his life, Rohan worked. He sweated under the sun, feeling the physical pain he had always mocked. Then the owner arrived. Jacob walked into the field, commanding respect and radiating a calm authority that silenced the workers. Rohan wiped his eyes, unable to believe them. The man he had kicked out was now the master he was serving. Jacob locked eyes with Rohan. There was no anger, just a profound silence that spoke louder than any scream could have. Overcome with shame, Rohan couldn't bear the confrontation. He dropped his tools and fled, unable to face the mirror of his failures. He ran back to Laura, gasping out the news. Instead of regret, Laura's eyes lit up with the old, familiar fire of greed. She dressed in her finest rags, convincing herself that as his wife, she was entitled to half of his new empire. They marched to the farm gates, Laura shouting demands, acting as if nothing had changed and she still held the power. Jacob emerged, flanked by Vick. Laura immediately switched tactics, forcing fake tears and pleading for forgiveness, claiming she missed him. Jacob raised a hand, stopping her performance. He saw through the tears, seeing only the greed that still rotted her heart. When the tears didn't work, she reverted to rage, demanding her share, screaming that she had a right to his wealth. Jacob spoke softly, telling her that family is built on love, not opportunism. She had broken that bond long ago. He produced a document. It was a legal declaration stating that his partner and heir in all things was now Vick. The color drained from their faces. They realized that by chasing everything, they had ended up with absolutely nothing at all. Jacob honored loyalty over blood. He chose the family he built over the family that had betrayed him when he fell. Security escorted them off the property. They walked away in shame, the heavy gates closing behind them for the final time. Left with nothing but their bitterness, they turned on each other, destined to live a life of regret and endless blaming. Jacob watched them go, feeling a weight lift from his shoulders. The final tie to his painful past was severed. He sat with Vick, watching the sun set over their empire. Peace had returned to his life, earned through courage. Life has a way of balancing the scales. Those who plant seeds of kindness harvest love. Those who plant greed harvest emptiness. Jacob proved that you don't need to seek revenge. You just need to succeed, be happy, and let karma do the rest. His farm became a haven for many, a place where hard work was respected and everyone was treated with dignity. He walked through his fields, knowing that every stalk of wheat was a testament to his decision to walk away. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to leave behind what you know, but it is often the only path to peace. Jacob didn't just build wealth. He built a legacy. He taught the next generation that character is worth more than gold. Years would pass, and his story would be told as a legend in the village, a tale of triumph over betrayal. Like a strong tree, he weathered the storm and grew stronger, providing shade and shelter for those who truly deserved it. Vick stood by him until the end, proving that blood makes you related, but loyalty and love make you family. As the sun set on his life, Jacob looked back with no regrets. He had lost a house, but gained a world. The courage to walk away is about choosing peace and dignity. It is refusing to let others define your worth. Remember that karma is always watching. Laziness and greed lead to ruin, while hard work and kindness will always be rewarded. So if you ever face betrayal, do not despair. Pack your bags, find your own path, and build your own paradise. Be like the sunflower that turns towards the light. Leave the shadows behind you and let your success be your noise. Cherish the Vicks in your life. Hold on to the people who help you build, not the ones who help you break. Darkness may fall, but the light within a good man's heart can never be extinguished. It shines on, guiding the way. Thank you for joining us on this journey of justice and redemption. We hope Jacob's story has inspired your own life. This has been True Life Lessons. Subscribe for more stories that touch the heart and soul. Until next time, stay true.